Yeah, that was the intro for my friend right here, Jessica Sketcher. That's your
Schechter.
sketch Sketcher
Schechter.
Schechter. Okay, my fault. I'm sorry. I'm not good at names.
No,
Ske-
all good.
okay,
It's
but
hard.
yeah yeah, that was your little intro that I put together. I liked some of the clips there. Yeah, yeah.
Hey, can I ask you a question? Is there a way I can turn the background music off?
All right, no doubt. You could turn that off.
Oh, nice. I can
Yeah.
hear you better.
Okay, okay. I just like music. I try to make it a little different, but yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, just good.
Okay, but I thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk with you, and I did see your interview on Saturday with all the way George Page. Shout out to him. And yeah, yeah. You're a
Thank you. Thank
bikini
you for
pro.
having me on, man.
Yeah, no
I'm
doubt. Yeah,
excited to chat back and forth.
yeah, no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. So why don't you tell the viewers how you got started in the bodybuilding?
Yeah. Well, I started bodybuilding in 2018. I'll say officially because I consider bodybuilding as you go in a show and you actually compete, not just going into the gym and doing things for aesthetics, like actually competing. I competed at the Summer Shredding 2018, which is a non-sanctioned event by Christian Guzman.
Right.
And then later that year, in December of 2018, I competed in the NPC Texas Cup, and I did figure in that show. And my career kind of went from there. And I just got my pro card at Nationals in Texas in December 13th. And it was a long time coming. I've competed in 9 shows now. So some of those being in the NPC, the GBO, other non sanctioned events. So my love for bodybuilding extends in multiple ways, and I've been doing this for a good 7 years now.
Mm. What did you learn like in terms of posing and just prepping and just working out?
What did I learn?
Yeah, like like what's the tips that you could tell somebody that don't know anything about bodybuilding?
Uh, well, it depends on the athlete.
Okay.
Each athlete has their own strengths and weaknesses, which will determine what tips to give. A good general tip is you must have a sense of discipline in your lifestyle and you must put your prep first if you want to win.
Yeah. Yeah, doing like one of the clips, like I see you posing with another gentleman, and it was kind of graceful. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. It kind of reminds me of Tai Chi a little bit. Like they have like this movement where you go down, and it's almost like a squat. The way you did it, it kind of reminds me of that a little bit.
Which
So
pose?
like when you're squatting like a split, and
Oh,
you
oh, right, the arch. Uh-huh.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
really is. It really is an art form, and I would say it's similar. Tai Chi requires a lot of body control, a lot of
Yeah.
movement control, and discipline of how you move your muscles. And posing is the same way. So, for me, posing has always been a really good outlet and a huge part of the sport. Absolutely huge. Top three in a show. Mention that again. For me, it's like a dance.
Yeah, yeah. You ever danced before, or
I danced when I was like 11 for like a year, and I didn't really go far. I just enjoyed it for like a year at Expressions. It was a small local place in College Station where I grew up. But I like to boogie. Like if I go out to a nightclub, I will 100% always be on the dance floor for sure.
okay? Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, like just trying to understand the sport. I noticed that I remember somebody said this, like posing. is mostly the sport of bodybuilding because you can have a nice physique, and if you don't pose right, you ain't gonna win.
Yeah, posing will make you look 10 times better, but it can also make you look 10 times worse. So it's super important. And it's also a discipline, it's all about regulation, especially with, I mean, men and women. And when you're dehydrated on show day, you're hungry, you're tired, and depending on your coach's protocol, you're on some whatever supplement, it doesn't matter. But if when you're on the stage, it can be hard to control yourself. So posing months and months out from a show, years out from a show, is super important because you learn to regulate your body in all conditions. It's just as hard to pose when you're holding a lot of body fat as it is to pose when you're not holding a lot of body fat and you're dehydrated. So posing in conditions where I'm fed, I'm healthy, posing in conditions where, oops, I'm overfed, holding a little bit too much weight, this is hard, and posing when you're just depleted and dying
Right.
will refine your entire routine.
Yeah. What was like your first show, like starting?
The summer shredding in 2018, I did a 5 week self coach prep. I was 19 years old at the time, and it was terrible. I mean, it was a good experience, but
Yeah.
I did not look good by any means. I was motivated after. I felt like, oh shit, this is what bodybuilding is. I just went into this really blind. I liked competing. I liked being in a competitive environment, and I played a lot of sports growing up, soccer, track. So it came very natural to be in competition mode and display or exude confidence in some sort of sport you're doing. But I didn't have the privy to be confident in that one. I'll say I was not looking great, but it was awesome because it really fueled that Texas Cup. I decided to get a coach, um, and I was like, you know what? I want first place. I know I can do this. I know I
Right.
can do this. I just have to know what I'm doing. And I didn't know what I was doing. So uh, it was a good experience overall. And I think that was a great first competition to go into. I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. I wouldn't have wanted it any other show. That was the
Yeah.
very first summer shredding.
Yeah. I mean, like it's your first show. I mean, I mean, it happens because I hear stories of, people's first bodybuilders' first shows. It's not really good. I mean, like anything, like you try to do, you're gonna have a rough start. I know that experience on things, on life in general. And then when you try to be consistent, you know, yeah, you get better. You know,
Yeah, and also in 2018, I mean, it was, well, it was summer shredding hit the very first show. Christian Guzman has grown milestones since then. I mean, the man is just banking. I competed in the summer shredding 2023 as well and their championship, and I took the gold in that one, which I was like, like full circle. Just did shit in their first competition and in their championship. Well, the show before that, I won the overall, and then the championship, I got like second, which was cool with me, whatever. But it was just like a full circle moment, and bodybuilding has changed a lot. I believe that now some people with the right coach and the right upbringing, genetics, and body style can rock a first competition. It just all depends on those factors. Bodybuilding has gotten huge, especially with social media, which was becoming more prevalent in 2015 to 2018 era. So things are definitely here now that weren't so out in the open for everyone to experience in 2018,
yeah. Why you chose bikini? If I could ask you.
Well, I had bikini as my first choice for the summer shredding, and then I moved to figure, and I really wanted to do figure. I got first place in my class for that Texas Cup figure show. I chose bikini to switch back to bikini because I have a good foundation of muscle for it, meaning really the sport has grown,
Right.
not just in that metaphorical way, but also, as we know, people are getting bigger and bigger and
Yeah.
bigger. If I wanted to be competitive in figure and really be competitive, I just knew that I might have to dabble in supplements that could virilize me. And to be honest, I just like the competition. I would put myself into WPD after I do some pro debut stuff, right? Like after I mess and have fun with my pro card. I am so open to going into women's physique because I'm very passionate about just the sport and what it is. I want to display my full package.
Yeah.
I mean, I love, what bikini brings, but I like what I have built. So it's really appealing to be able to show that off. But with bikini, I didn't have to get my pro card and be very competitive. I didn't have to run any risks at my age. And I
Right.
just wanted to keep it as clean as possible, really. And so if I choose to do women's physique, I may not be the most competitive up there because I may not be the biggest, but it's something that I definitely want to try for the experience and just for myself.
Yeah. I mean, you have a nice physique because I was looking at your pictures. I mean, you really do. You know, for a bikini competitor. You know, you look
For
like you could
sure.
move up. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was impressed. You know, I mean,
Thank you.
I don't think that I don't see too many. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I don't see too many bikini competitors is conditioned the way you're conditioned. You know, I'm still learning. But I noticed that that bikini, like you said before, like bikini competitors are getting bigger. Like if it was like years ago, it wasn't like your physique. You know, so
Yeah, and that's on time too. I mean,
yeah,
I know 20-year-old girls and they're like, I want to do this and that. And I'm like, it takes time. You just have to let your body grow into it. I trained just as hard when I was 20 years old, 21, but you just have muscle maturity over time. You get more conditioned, more reps, more fibers breaking down. You consistently eat protein. So I have the shape. I have broad shoulders. I have a
yeah.
smaller waist, and I have decent hips.
Oh,
Sorry
okay,
about that. I need to put on my do not disturb.
all right,
Yeah, and I have like the X frame, so I've been able to build good muscle around it. Um, and I think it would allow me to be competitive with my shape and conditioning in women's physique, but in
yeah,
terms of muscularity and size, that's where I would be lacking.
yeah. How long do you plan to stay in bikini?
I don't have a long-term plan for it. I
Yeah,
really just want to see how this year goes. Like it's the case that, well, if I compete in a pro show, there's only one class in pro shows. So unlike amateur shows like NPC or OCB or GB, whatever it is, where you have class A, class B, class C, pro shows, you just have one show. If I win that show, then I could go to the Olympia,
right.
qualify for the Olympia. So it's like I believe in myself. My coach believes in me, and I can see myself like doing that. I think I would love to venture off into the other sectors of bodybuilding. Women's physique is a good one. Maybe I would do figure again. I did that for the Iron City in 2023 and I won $2,000 from it. So
Mm.
I don't think anything is off limits, but I'm not putting a time on it. And I'm also 26, so I
Yeah, you
have really
young.
a lot of time to do this,
Yeah,
you know?
you young. I mean, I well, like bodybuilding is not an easy sport, and it takes a lot of time and discipline, and I wouldn't be a bodybuilder because I don't really have it like that, or just even like the I'm not gonna say discipline, but the finance at times. Like for you, is that um hard for you, or you're okay with that, or you're financially stable?
I'm financially stable. I
Mm.
work well with my money that I do have. I'm not a big shopper. I
Yeah,
just wear a lot of the same clothes. I don't spend a ton of money on hair, makeup. I don't get eyelashes or my nails done. So I really have my saved money and I use it resourcefully during prep. I don't have to buy a ton of supplements. You know, I have old suits. The one at that national show was
yeah,
the same one I wore in the 2022 Texas Cup. Um, yep, that's the suit, and I wore it at the GBO too when I won Miss Atlas, and that was in 22 as well. So that was
mm,
the same top I was wearing at the national show. I don't Bodybuilding is expensive more so on show day.
yeah,
Now, I also have been in the group. Like I have connections with, Lisa Ramsey, for example. She does my makeup for a great price, tans for a great price. And that's just on being part of the team. And I mean, I still pay her well. Like it's well, nationals, including the ticket, was well over $500.
mm,
But did I have months to save up for that? Yeah. So I had a goal and I made sure, okay, Tana's gonna cost this much, makeup is gonna cost this much. And I'm the type that aggressively pays on things like my credit card, for instance, or my car note. Because when you aggressively pay for it and pay beforehand, you don't have to worry about that expense later. So if I know I have the cash or the extra income in the moment, okay, I'm gonna spend it knowing that I'm going into nationals later. That way I'm not freaking out. And I had a lot of shit happen before nationals. I totaled my car hydroplaning in the nobody got hurt, nobody was involved, but it was on the highway 2 weeks before nationals. And I had to pay for a rental car. It was a lot. I have gone through a lot financially and I've held myself up because I save a lot of money and I work a lot.
yeah.
So,
What
but you
did you
have
do?
to you have to have the finances to do the sport for sure.
Well, what do you do outside the sport? Are you a fitness trainer?
Sorry, I do online coaching,
Yeah.
and I have my personal training that I do up at Northside Gym, which is a gym close here to me. Um, and it's been a really good experience. I put clients on stage
Oh,
and I do many things, man, many things.
what's the many things like?
Um, well, I mean, I've done DoorDash before.
Oh, okay.
I've done that. Uh, it it's funny because I feel like, well, I also invest a lot of money, but I hold my stocks. I don't I've sold stocks whenever I feel I need that money, you know. If I need that money, I got to sell a stock. Pay the taxes on your stocks that you sell. The money you get, but yeah. And I have, a link tree. If anyone's interested, if anyone is interested in that, you can go to my link tree.
Yeah, you did a little bit more than me when I was 26. It was like I had odd jobs and just like struggling just to get a job, and so yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
Yeah, man, I've struggled with jobs too. Like, I've I've gotten fired from plenty of jobs just because I don't follow the rules exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're very rebellious, right?
Say what?
What are you? Do you consider yourself rebellious?
Probably just as much as you are.
I mean, people complain about me. You know, sometimes like I would try to do the work, and like no matter how you do it, like you could they could tell you like jump on one leg, you'll do it, and but after a while, I don't know, like people's funny. You know, and that's what I've learned. You know, it's I don't like working for people at all. You know, I just do it because it's survival. What else I'm gonna do? You know, I'm gonna be
You know what
I'm
I
gonna be
call us? Rebels with a cause.
yeah. You ever seen that movie?
Maybe like a couple clips from it.
Yeah,
Um,
I
but
never seen
like
it. Just
no,
ask.
but just that phrase and just understanding what that means because some people are rebellious just for the fuck of it.
Yeah,
But I think that rebellion with a cause and a purpose is necessary in society so that people can hear a different perspective and maybe be like, huh, maybe I just have been following a path, like you said, of working. You just jump on one foot because somebody tells you to. And
yeah,
I don't want to jump on one foot. Tell me why I need to do that. Are you going to do that too? If you're not doing that, why would I do that?
yeah.
And that's just on authority, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I try to follow the rules as much as I can. You know, it's not easy. Like even I work at the library and stuff, and it just it's a little daunting a bit, on certain things, and you know, I'm trying to see if I can get another position because I don't like the position I'm in, and it's not always easy, just following orders and stuff like that, and especially no offense if it's the opposite sex, you know, it's not always easy. So, but I just try. That's all I can do. You know, yeah, that's it. That's what. Are you rebellious in bodybuilding? Like just like is it easy for you? Like with the criteria they want?
That's a good question. I would say I am true to myself in bodybuilding. I won't do something I don't like in bodybuilding.
Mm,
Whether it comes to, yeah, I would say so. But that is something that is not rebel with a cause vibe, especially when it's towards my coach, because I would consider my coach an authority figure, a
mm,
mentor to me. And if I don't abide by my coach's protocol, and this is something I refined last prep and made sure that I had a lot of integrity behind my pro card, meaning no cheating on my diet, making sure I was getting all my cardio in, and just being on point. And God, sir, God will give back. So I think there's rebellion in that manner. And I have been plenty rebellious before towards my coach, which is not good. But in the sport of bodybuilding, yeah, I think even in that way, but it's good. Like crossing over divisions, I would say is sort of a peak at rebellion. You see like not necessarily WPD to bodybuilding.
right.
I think those categories can be crossed over decently easy. But if you're in bikini and you're in the same show and then you go into figure class as well, I'd say you're a little bit of a rebel because those are two way different criterias. And some would be like, why would you do that? Like, what are you doing? That you need to put the feedback I got on the show where I did that, they said you need to put your eggs in one basket and figure out which one you want to do. Because you can do both. My coach calls me a hybrid because I can do both. But I should choose one just because there is criteria that you need to meet. So I chose bikini.
Yeah. I mean, I think you would do well in figure, but that's just me. I don't know. You know.
And I agree with you. I think if I gain some more muscle, I could do well in figure. However, That's where I would do this with more purpose, because figure you still have to wear the heels.
Right.
You're still kind of put in this narrow box where you're doing just mandatories. Whereas with WPD, you have a whole routine. You can take off your heels. You can do basically classic poses.
Yeah.
Um, and so that's where I would go
Yeah.
over
Well,
figure at this point.
uh, well, we got a guest. Shout out to Lawrence Perkins. Hello again, Jessica and KL. Yeah, how
Hey
you
man,
been,
what's
man?
up?
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was on George's.
yeah,
Can you see
yeah.
how many people are in the comments section or just in the?
Just one. That was just him. That was just him. It's
Well, I
just
hope he
me.
stays.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like just looking at your physique, like your back is really nice.
Thank you.
Do
I've
you
worked
have,
really, really hard on my back.
yeah? Do you have like since you've been like competing, have you, is there somebody that you're inspired by, or like you really truly like you admire, not truly admire, but just admire?
Yeah, I had this question with George, and it kind of took me a sec because nowadays bodybuilding is quite saturated. So I'm exposed to so many bodybuilders all the
Yeah,
time
I
that
know
I
what you
take
mean.
information from.
Yeah.
However, the first I want to say her name was Candace. If you remember Candace, she was Miss Olympia for figure 1 year. No, I think she went up against it. Sid has won, I mean, 8 times now. And then I saw Sid and I was like, wow, that is perfection. I mean, everything about Sid, her demeanor, her performance on Survivor, and also just what she represents for the sport is so well put together.
Right.
And her physique displays that as well. I'll give a shout out to Sarah Viegas as well, who's WPD, because like I
Yeah.
said in another part, she was my old boss, and watching her train really inspired me. That was in 2022 when I did my first, or I guess second debut of shows, because I did 2018, 2021, and 2022. And she really inspired me, man. Like I'd never seen a someone train just so raw,
Right.
and I loved it. I like to watch her train, just passing by while I was getting a client or something, and she was, prepping for the Olympia at the time, and a month out, she just looked crazy, and her symmetry was beautiful, her posing was on point, so she inspired me as well. As far as bikini goes, I think that Jennifer Dory has a great shape, and
I heard
that
of.
she should come back in. I'm a fan right now of Jazzy, who I think should be on the come up. And I have to really give respect to all of them because everyone works really hard. But I'll say Sid Gillen was really the first woman that I was like, damn, that's bodybuilding.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen like some clips of her compete. You know, like usually people would mention her name, and and I'll see some pictures of her, but I never really like focused on her like that. Like when I'm on Instagram, I look at the ones that don't compete. Sometimes I'll look at some people that do compete. I have a thing about looking at the Latina chicks and the Asian women.
Gets you hard or something?
Wow. I mean, you guys go all get me hard, but I mean, I didn't want to say it like that, but
No, I said the same thing to George. He was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Yeah." Like I've been in bodybuilding so long, you
yeah,
wouldn't, I know the whole dealio.
the smalls or something.
I'm registering my car right now.
Right.
Uh,
Well, let me read these chats. They got some people here. Yo, guys, I wish the best for Jessica in her pro debut. And
Thank you,
yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah. So like when you go speak of the here he comes. Yeah, I get a tent pole on the muscle chicks.
Fucking George, dude.
Yeah.
I'm
I mean,
dead.
I mean, I've been to sessions and stuff like that. That's I'm not gonna share too much unless you want me to share, but that's it.
You can share. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I've been, I mean, I've had little sessions with, are you familiar with, what's her name? I forgot her name already. She's Asian. She's from Hong Kong. Michelle. I can't believe I forgot her name, but I had a session with this person. Yeah. So yeah,
Damn. Well,
yeah,
it'd be like that, you know?
yeah. I mean, I mean, when I was a kid, I think like I would say that you guys kind of like caught my eye in a sense. Like I was like about 16, and even I was working out as well. It's not like, oh, I'm just looking at muscle women and stuff. I would look at Lee Haney and Dorian Yates and what's Flex Wheeler and all that stuff. Yeah, so yeah, so
And
I
they're great.
wanted.
Like I like men's bodybuilding. I was just looking at pictures today of gosh, old bodybuilders, like Muhammad or there's a
What
few
about
that
Lee
that
Priest?
Lee
You
Priest
think?
looks great. I mean,
Yeah,
Lee Priest reminds me of my boyfriend. Like
yeah.
he's got
How
that
so?
blonde,
Yeah,
He's bubbly. He's shorter, but he's got that character to him, and so I really like men's bodybuilding, and men's classic physique as well.
yeah. I never. I mean, man, classic physique. I never really paid attention to it. Like that. You know.
Well,
Yeah,
that's what people love that. People love,
yeah,
love, love that. Chris Bumstead, I think, has really made a huge impact on the sport, obviously. So,
yeah. When I went to the New York Pro, I mean, people was going crazy with what's his name, Nick Wheeler,
Nick Walker.
yeah, Nick Walker, yeah, they was
I was
going
looking at
crazy
Nick
with
Walker
him.
earlier because he had posted some check ins, and God, man, I think he looks. I respect the hard work of all bodybuilders, but I can say that man looks so unhealthy. He needs
Yeah,
to stop.
yeah, yeah,
He needs to stop.
yeah. I mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, I know people go crazy for the men more than the women. So, you
I
know,
mean, there's a lot of hype behind it because the men get all the money, really.
right, right,
And if you think about bodybuilding, like these guys are usually more matured and more developed
yeah.
and older in a sense because it just takes so much time to build that much mass, conditioning. I mean, for God's sake, Hadi Chupon is like 40.
Who?
So
How do you, what? Oh,
He won 2022.
oh, okay.
Um and he did not win 2023. Derek won 2023, and then Samson just took that
Do you like
dub. And
the? Oh, I'm sorry, I ain't mean to cut you off.
oh, no, you're good.
Do you like the men more than the women? Like watching, like as a spectator?
No, I like them both equal.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah,
When you was like playing soccer, like how was you like athletically? Like,
man, I'm a fast nugget. I'll tell you, I'm pretty athletic. I'm very fast. I was real good at soccer. I worked as a forward in the midfield. So I
okay.
was offense, just always attacking, running. And I think a lot of my shape, people are like, how do you get abs like that? How do you get a core like that? I mean, compound lifting, deadlift, squats, core work. But for me personally, I believe a lot of my foundational muscle density came from soccer and running, sprinting. It
Yeah.
is, I mean, if you look at a sprinter's body, they have a build that you really can't, there's something about it that is just a little bit different than if you take a person who has never done sports in their life, unless they just have crazy genetics, you can tell. if they've never done sports in their life in bodybuilding, if they pursue that versus somebody who's done sports in their life and then pursues bodybuilding, there's a different foundational build along the muscles because you've been training. It doesn't matter if you've been lifting or not, you've been working and moving these body parts all your life. So lifting, you can naturally build on top of that. Whereas someone who starts from bottom ground and has to work up, they haven't trained that mind muscle connection really maybe in any way in their life, you know? Maybe they did some like golf or something. I don't, just an example, but um it's hard. It's hard to do that. So I think that athletes tend to do better. I could be wrong. That's just
I mean,
yeah.
I played some sports. I played basketball. I started late. I started like 17, and that wasn't very easy. And then I was running. I would do like a lot of calisthenics, like pull-ups and dips and all that. Well, it's calisthenics, and
Yeah, calisthenics is nice.
yeah,
I like calisthenics a lot.
yeah. Like what's like your what's like your workout ethic like in the gym? Like how long you stay in the gym?
I stay in the gym. Like I said this yet. It depends on if I'm in prep or not. Cause if I do about 45, 30 minutes to an hour of cardio, depending on the day, 6 times a week. And I will train usually for 50 to 120 minutes, depending
Yeah,
on who I'm with, what day it is. Average per day in the gym, I would say around an hour and 20 minutes to an hour and 30 minutes.
yeah. Somebody, Vinny, he says I would have been squash. I played side back. I never played soccer, so I don't know.
Well, I mean, a side back is basically defense. Just there's
Okay,
usually a line of defenders, three, and nice. A side back usually is the one that's supposed to be squashing for bigger
yeah.
players. He's telling me I'm big, I think. Thank you.
I know like soccer, like I know it gotta have a lot of. I don't think you don't the vapor thing. I don't know because YouTube they have this thing where yeah, yeah,
I'll keep it to a low. I'll
yeah.
keep it to a low.
All right. So yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, like I know like playing soccer, you have to have a lot of stamina and stuff. Because I remember one time, like I had a friend and we was like kicking. I was trying to get the soccer from him, and I couldn't take the soccer. I couldn't get the soccer from him. He kept kicking the ball, and for some reason I couldn't reach him. It was hard trying to get the ball from him.
It's quick,
So
yeah. Soccer, you got to be quick on your feet. You got to be quick on your toes,
yeah,
and you got to have not only the agility because it's really a lot of agility, just being able to move laterally, move forward, move back, pass, have peripheral view, depth perception, know where you're
yeah,
going with the ball, know where the ball is on your feet, know where you are in proximity relation to another player on your team. It's a lot of cognitive strength and also agility and stamina. An average soccer player runs around 4 miles during an entire game. So you've got to have stamina. And that's something that I like about bodybuilding is that perception, depth perception. I don't have the greatest vision.
mm,
So soccer was harder for me sometimes because I had these got before I got contacts, and even when I got contacts, I was so conditioned. I got contacts when I was like 13 or 14, and I had been playing soccer for 10 years at that point.
right.
And I always played with glasses on, these thick glasses, and at a point goggles. And so I hated it, but I remember feedback from my soccer coach was to work on my depth perception because I would have to be looking at the ball and then look around when I should just know where that is. So that was an impediment of mine for sure, just my
Yeah,
vision.
yeah.
Bodybuilding is like, I could close my eyes and do reps.
Mm. So you got Vinny. He says most bikini athletes don't really appreciate the bigger female division. Good to see she likes the bigger ladies too.
Oh, I don't know what bikini athletes don't support the bigger ladies. I'd say
If
they're
they,
pretty
I,
pretentious in that
I,
arena
I've
then.
heard, yeah, I've heard. Not to, I didn't mean to talk while you was talking, but I know what he's saying that some of them. I hear like female bodybuilders. They said they have kind of shared that the bikini athletes are prejudiced against them and stuff like that. Cause they,
Sure. I
yeah,
mean, it's easy to judge people.
right,
It's harder to accept people. And I think that's where a lot of problems in society just stem from in general. I'm a very accepting person. If you're pursuing a passion, you're pursuing a passion. And if you're doing it well with integrity, who am I to judge you for anything you're doing? But I'll also make the argument that there's a lot of people that are shitting on the new division that's coming up. And I
yeah,
just watched
that's
someone in
true.
your interview, what was her name? Oh, Bailey something. And she was talking about how her coach was putting her in the fit model division,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
and I see so many people shitting on that. And I'm like, I'm very objective. Like, I can see the money around it
right,
and why they might have done that, and also how it's viewed in a perspective of bodybuilding of, well, if everyone's getting bigger, we have to incorporate and be more inclusive towards athletes that don't want to take anything, because nowadays it's, if you're going to the Olympia, chances are you're probably on something.
right,
Probably. And if you're not, you should definitely be advertising how hard you're not on something to influence people more. But it's just so unlikely that somebody on the Olympia stage is not on something.
yeah, yeah. You ever thought that you ever thought about wanting to? Well, I know you can't, but have you ever thought about like a natural an organization or something like that?
For my clients, for sure. Like, I'm never one to push anything on to anyone. If
Yeah,
you want to take something, or you express to me, I want to go far in this sport, I want to be super competitive, I'll let you know like how people usually run it. But I'm never gonna be like, hey, first competition, do take this, because at the end of the day, if your goal is to get on stage and present your best package, you don't need any of that. You just need yourself, and you need to show up every day in the gym, and you need to follow the protocol. You don't need drugs. But if you
yeah,
want to go to the Olympia stage, all right, we can talk a little bit more about supplementation. So I definitely think like the NFF is cool too. The GBO does tested events, and again, these are all federations that allot cash prizes to the winners. So I'm all for it.
yeah. I mean, your division it's not kind of favorable. It was like the fitness model division at a certain point because the most of the bodybuilder fans they like the big girls mostly.
Yeah. I mean, then that's why they use Ashley Kay, who's in bikini now. She's former Miss Olympia, as the representation of what the standard would look like back in 2015, 10
Yeah,
years ago, what bikini was 10 years ago. That's what they're using as the standard for the fit model division. So if that doesn't show how much bikini has evolved in 10 years, I don't know what does. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. All the way George Page, soccer has grown really big in the U.S. And Vinny, he says, I don't know, George, when will the U.S. men ever pass round two in the World Cup? And George also says it's like when bikini came in, many didn't like the division because it wasn't the same as bodybuilding. Yeah, yes, that, yeah. I mean, like I started witnessing that, when I went to the New York Pro, and like a lot of people, they there was a lot of people like in the audience, and then as soon as like the bikini kind of came, well, not kind of, they came, a lot of people, like a majority of people, they left. I've talked to physique a physique competitor, and she told me that she doesn't watch it.
Well,
So
I'll
you know,
say this about that point is bikini is usually the last division to go.
why?
When you
Why is
are
that?
watching a bodybuilding show,
Yeah,
usually you're there for one person, one
yeah,
athlete, maybe two. And after they perform or after they go on, all right, well, there's a, 5, 6, 7, maybe even 8 hour break. And then once they're on for finals, what do you want to go do after with your person that you're going to see? You want to go eat with them. Like people are not there. It's not like a soccer game. It's not like the Super Bowl where you're sitting down and you're waiting for this end result for an entire plot. This is a individual sport. And that's where I mean I watched the whole show. I like it. Also, bikini compared to women's physique or bodybuilding, that class is so much bigger. Why? It simply comes down to the amount of people that want to look like a bikini athlete as a female compared to the amount of females that want to look like a bodybuilder. It's just built in society. So I if they were to put bikini first,
right.
they would never do, but I guarantee just as many people would probably leave too, because they're only there to see that athlete, and then they would watch the rest of the show. They would have to, but because bikini is so big, same with men's physique. It's the same thing. They do men's physique last. Why? Because it's the biggest class. It's the biggest division. So I
And
would say that like yeah,
he says then with bikini it takes much longer because of the numbers. Yeah, I mean
correct.
it'd be like 20 competitors on stage. Sometimes 60 if I'm not mistaken. Like then it's like different classes and stuff like that.
I
Cause I
mean,
was
just my class alone at nationals had 26 girls. I came in first
yeah,
place out of 26 in my class. Out of all the competitors, there was 20. There's probably about 100 plus girls in just
yeah,
bikini. It's huge. It's huge.
yeah. Yeah, you really and then when they on stage, you really can't tell who's in the best condition or anything like that because they almost look the same. Like, I mean, they look nice, but you wouldn't tell. Like, I mean, like the average person wouldn't really tell like who would win on stage. That's just
Yeah.
me. I don't know.
Well, I think you're right. Like, in a way, everyone looks great. Especially if you're just an
Yeah,
average person and you're watching this, you're like, damn, like, these people are in shape like I've never seen. And that's really all your mind thinks. It's not, and that's where it differs from all other sports because the criteria of football is the rules. The criteria of bodybuilding is subject to the division you're watching. And
right,
if you don't know that in general, which we're not the judges are the ones that are have control over that whole scenario, who looks the best.
right,
So now if we think about if we play a little game with this and we were to say, well, let's let the audience choose. Forget the judges, forget the criteria. Let's bring 10 of these ladies on stage at a time and let's have everyone from the audience put in a vote to say who is the best competitor on that stage. Chances are it would probably be the same competitor that the judges choose because of shape, aesthetic, and how the visual eye works. Like, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it might not be. Maybe some people don't find this person as good looking as the overall winner. And judging is a very how do you put this meticulous method because like for instance when I looked at my class and what the judges chose out of 5 judges, 4 judges liked my look the best, one judge liked the second place winner the best. If the judges all come to an agreement and they all 5 like your look, then you know, oh shit, that's great. But you can look at the scorecards online. So if for instance in my teammates class Darcy, 2 of the judges chose the second place winner and 3 of the judges chose her look. So it was almost a split decision. So the judging really does come down to the literal judges and
Yeah,
who is judging. Sandy has been a judge for a long time now. And now Tyler Mannion, he represents what the Olympia wants and what everybody wants in judging. So it's really important to get. I got his feedback as well, and but who knows what the audience would like, right?
right. Somewhere down the line, would you want to be a judge in a show?
If I got the opportunity to be a judge, I would not pass it up. I would
Mm,
definitely. I know what they're looking for. I know what they're looking for because I've been in enough competitions, and I also observe the sport very closely when it comes to the actual competition. Best believe I'm looking at every single person's body up there in every lines, and now I've examined the guys so much that it's just like either you have the look or you don't. And if you're in the gray area, that's where you have room to improve. Can I bring that look? Do I have the potential? And the feedback is really important on that. Where are my weaknesses? Is it the density? Is it my shape? Is it my I just wasn't lean enough? Is it my presentation, posing? Because if you can refine that and you have potential, you can keep working in this sport. If you're
mm,
just resistant though and you are doing this on your own and you're trying and trying, because I've seen competitors, mostly men, try and go years every year to multiple national shows, and they just can't get their pro card. And then what happens is they've taken so many drugs, they've overtrained so much, maybe even over dieted, their
yeah,
test is running here and there. They don't have a solid foundation or a path to go that they have in somehow managed to look worse after 5 years than they did in the first place. It can be a dangerous obsession.
yeah, yeah. I hear you. I mean, yeah. You can look at some pictures. You look nice in it, and yeah, you look really nice. So, who's this? Like, that's Sean Nelson or that did this
That's
picture?
Jason. That's
Oh,
Jason Ophidian. He's super freaking cool. He goes by Bioaffiliate on Instagram. That's
okay,
my homie. That's my homie.
okay, no doubt, no doubt. Yeah, you really look nice. Yeah,
That was also Jason.
you ever thought about being a model or, I
I
don't
am a
know.
model.
Oh, oh, silly
Yeah,
me.
I mean, I'm a
I'm a
model.
silly rabbit. Like, what made you like decide to do like photo shoots? You just had the confidence, or you just for money or anything like that? I don't know.
When I was, I mean, I have the confidence. I got a guy reached out to me, Taco Mundez, in 2018, and he said, "Hey, do you want to do a photo shoot?" And I was like, "Yeah, I was competing for the Texas Cup. That was in September, and I remember we went on the rooftop, like a parking garage rooftop, and went in the gym and got oiled up. I have it way back on my Instagram, but it was fun. You can kind of create a personality, and from there I did multiple shoots where it's so fun to work with a photographer because they have their own creative ideas of what the theme is like, what
Right,
the vibe is like, and all you got to do is match it and bring your authentic self, of course. But each one has a theme. Like the one that you first pulled up that Jason did with the pink and the Barbie, he calls that, Miami Barbie shoot. And
yeah.
then we do like a beach shoot. And then there's more of like a warrior shoot. And so it's really fun to get into character. So I've been shooting for about, yeah, as long as I've been doing bodybuilding since 2018.
Is there like you ever thought about doing cosplay?
Yeah, I've done some cosplay.
Yeah.
I've done cosplay a little bit, not like super extreme, not to get into any specific character. I'd say I've never had the like equipment, but I've done like the tape shoot that's pinned on my Instagram from 2022. That one was super
Let's take
fun
a
where
look
they
at your
tape you up.
Instagram.
Say what?
Take a little. Now I said let's take a little trip to your Instagram.
For sure. for sure.
Yeah.
It's pinned on my Instagram next to that Nationals video. That was a really fun shoot. It kind of gave Kill Bill vibes.
Mhm. Oh, I see this. This right here.
Yeah, yeah. They
Is this
taped
it?
me up.
Okay.
It looks, you know, closed at first, but the more you get into the pictures, you'll see it kind of evolves into what the shoot actually was. I felt like a villain character, but they tape me up and they get real close on the pictures, and it was
I
really
gotta
cool.
age
Like,
restrict this shit.
it was
Yeah,
awesome.
you be kind of little flashing it a little bit with the pelvis and all that stuff. I'm not mad at it. Don't think I'm mad at it. It's just a YouTube thing. I don't want them. I gotta just age restrict it a little bit. But you have a
I
nice
gotcha.
physique.
I gotcha.
Yeah. You know
And
you
I
you
do,
you,
do
you
shoots for Violate, which is the clothing company I work with. So it's always fun to
right.
do a nice Violate shoot.
Yeah. You know who you kind of remind me of a little bit? Lilu,
Agent
the
Carter,
lady that plays Lilu from no, Lilu, from the Fifth Element. Mila, I forgot her name. She played
not Mila
Resident Evil.
Kunis.
She's in Resident. Yeah, no, not her. Not from the she. That nah. It she's. You ever seen the Fifth Element?
Fifth Element, Lilo?
Yeah,
Lilu?
yeah,
By Milia
yeah.
Jovovich
Right, right. Yeah, yeah.
with the
That's it.
orange hair?
What the what?
The orange hair?
Yeah, yeah. Right,
Is it
right.
her
Like
face? I
if you
mean, we look so different.
a little bit. You do? I don't know.
I
Maybe
think
that's
so,
that's
but
you have
I don't
a
know.
you
Somebody
have
told
that
me,
Lilu look.
yeah,
You
somebody
have
told
that
me in
Lilu
George's
look.
podcast I look like Agent Carter, and I looked up Agent Carter, and I was like, huh, I guess. I always get like
I don't
Sandra
see that.
Bullock. I'm like, all right.
I don't see that. I don't see none of that. I don't really see that. Maybe I'm off, but I don't see that. I don't see that. I don't see Agent Carter. But I mean, you have like a potential to to cosplay. You could be like a superhero, Wonder Woman, or
Oh yeah, I have
somebody.
a couple shoots like that. If you go way down on it, you can see it. I'm gonna give myself 30 seconds.
All right. Well, tell me when, because I don't know.
I mean, it's way far.
Way far? How far? Okay. Well, I do like this picture. You look really nice. Wow. Like, do you have friends that go to your shows?
Friends or like just people?
Yeah, like people that you know that I know you said in an interview that your father go to your shows and your mother don't. But do you have like friends that like go to your shows that like people around you? Like, do you have friends?
Yes, I have friends.
I'm not.
I'd say I've had like loved ones come, my brothers come. I have friends that have come to my shows. But it
Okay.
is expensive. The ticket is expensive.
Right.
And that's just
Yeah.
how it is. So it's like, yes, but they can also see it via online. And to be quite frank, I usually am more of a fan of going out with my family after to eat. I'm just like a family
Right.
person. I like that. I want to go out with my family and eat with them and celebrate with them because they always. I just find it so nice that they're so supportive of it. Yeah, these are cool. You gotta keep going on. That's when I won the Atlas.
No,
That
I'm
was
just enjoying
Texas
these
Cup.
pictures that I'm looking at. You have a really nice body.
Yeah, thank you. That was a
Yeah,
long time ago.
I'm
I've
just
changed a lot
yeah,
since then. That was a fun shoot.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I was 23 here ish, 22. I was really small back then. I had just moved to Dallas. This is when I was in college and lived in College Station. And I just started doing
This right
bikini more
here,
so. That
this
was in
right here,
college.
these pictures right here. Oh wow, let
That
me
was in
see.
college.
Yeah,
I was younger,
wow,
you know. I
yeah.
I've changed a lot since then. I
You-
still always had like a good look, but I didn't I probably look similar to that
Wow,
right
you
now,
look
like
nice.
body wise. I've definitely gained some
Wow.
muscle. Um
Do-
I was
Can I ask you
I
a
was a
question?
young
Do you have like guys? Now say what you was asking. Say what you was about to say.
Well, that picture in the comparison, that picture right there is from the summer shredding compared to the one I did in 2021,
Okay.
and even that's lame. But you can see on the left how unconditioned and just like I wore a black suit
Yeah.
and my hair and everything along with it was just not a good look. But that was
Yeah.
the summer shredding, and then I did like a rocks discount show in 2021. That was my next bikini show, which I could have done better at as well.
I mean, you don't look that bad, but I could understand what you're saying with the improvement. That
Oh
you
yeah,
wasn't
no, I
lacking
mean
it.
there's a picture underneath that. It was pretty bad.
Yeah. Wow. This is when you was 22.
Let's see, that was in 2021. I just turned 23. I had just turned 23
Wow.
there,
I mean,
and I'm
like when you out
26 now.
when you out like in the street, do you have guys like approach you or anything like that, or just be looking at you?
I don't know.
You
I
gotta
don't what
know.
I
I
don't
like you gotta know. You gotta know. Come on.
I just stay so in my own like
You
vision,
in
you
your own
know. I
world.
just pay so little
Yeah.
attention because I mean, I'm sure there are guys and when I do make
Yeah.
eye contact with them, I do not look away. I like continue making eye contact with them to let them know that I am staring right back at them.
Okay.
That right there on the left is that summer shredding. I mean, I wasn't really conditioned. I was wearing flip flops. My tan was kind of off. It was just young. Even that
Well, I
rocks
like both
discount, I was
pictures. I mean, I like both pictures.
well.
I
Thank
mean,
you.
do you have like prejudice with people like with seeing you with muscles or anything like that, or it's not, you don't really go through that too much?
Perception is everything. I think
Right.
you can ward off a lot of the hate just by knowing and having a lot of confidence in yourself. I think if you are getting into this sport, you have to understand the repercussions of what people are going to think and not give a fuck. If I
Right.
gave a fuck about what these people thought of how muscular I'm getting, it could ruin my whole day. You know, if
Yeah.
someone doesn't like what I'm bringing, but I don't give a fuck what people think. If someone thinks, oh, you're too muscular, it's okay. Well, that's, what you think. I don't think I'm too muscular. So I'll know when I'm too muscular when I start feeling that way, you know?
Right. I mean, it's just a question because I know people. I know that's like a normal thing, with bodybuilders. People have their prejudices and stuff like that. But there's women that are more masculine looking than feminine looking. You know.
Yes, and I think
Yeah, yeah. I
they
like your
they
pictures. I ain't
probably
gonna lie.
yeah, that was during COVID. I think a lot of women
Yeah.
who do feel that way or are viralized, for example, did not think that they were going to viralize. It's just like losing weight, it's just like gaining muscle. Sometimes you look in the mirror and you don't know how much you've really changed. And when you look
Right.
back at old pictures, you may find yourself reminiscing on, oh, I actually used to look like this, kind of more womanly. I didn't realize I was so caught up in getting muscle, so caught up in the sport, I didn't even realize what I was doing to my face or my skin. and they might get self-conscious,
Right.
and that might affect their life and how they are mentally. And
Right.
so, and that's on coaches. Like a lot, like you said, a lot of women, a lot of people, men too, follow blindly with someone what they tell them to do. And in bodybuilding, you have to be very, I don't want to say guarded, but you have to be conscientious of what your protocol is, because dieting can take your
Hello.
to a completely different place. Drugs can take your body
Oh,
to a completely different place. And people don't really know that at first. If they don't really know much about bodybuilding, they get into it, get with the wrong coach. The coach is like, hey, take this, this, this. And they're like, oh, this is what I got to do for bodybuilding. And they don't know that it's going to have them viralize. Then you can't really come back from that. It's hard for the body to come back from viralizing. That was the figure competition I did. That one on the right.
yeah.
Um,
You know,
that was
to piggyback on what you were saying, now go ahead. I was saying to piggyback on what you were saying that we was having a discussion earlier, me and all the way George Page, and we was talking about how bodybuilders can put themselves out there. They don't like putting themselves out there for like, for like even like talking with the public, you know. Hello?
what do you mean?
No, what I'm saying, like they're not like out there. Like, before bodybuilding, they used to be on talk shows, right? And on TV in general. But somewhere down the line, you didn't really see that. Sometimes there were times where they would be like in magazines, like in newsstands, you would see them. But now, like everything is gone. Like it's not even, people don't pay it no mind, you know. And
Yeah,
so
I
like,
mean,
no, I was about to say people don't pay it no mind, and sometimes we try to reach out, but some people, they don't like putting themselves out there. They don't want to talk about certain things because they might deal with certain issues with the sport division or anything like that. So that's what I was trying to say.
yeah, it's true. I mean, there's a lot of people that feel less vulnerable with this sport because it's sort of a taboo sport, and it comes with people judging you, literally.
Right.
Like, you get on a stage to be judged, and then you have to deal with societal judgment, which is, oh, this person looks like this, or they're so vain, or they take this, they take that, or oh, this person, yeah, it's too much for me, I don't like that look. Or so I think it comes, yeah, there's definitely judgment that comes with it that can be deemed as harsh, and people don't want to put themselves out there. Oh, we're going way far
Mhm.
back. That's
Right.
young. That's like 22. Yeah, I was not even 22.
Look,
I
I
was
like
not
these
even
pictures. I
22.
mean, I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
What was it that you wanted me to see though?
Oh,
But
I mean,
you was
I
somebody.
don't. If you want to go way far back on my page, I have some photo shoot, like maybe my first photo shoot or
Yeah,
something. But
yeah.
I've had Instagram since 2012.
You see me with like when I was not like before bodybuilding. It seems like, oh, okay, yeah.
I've changed a
I see
lot. My
these
face has
pictures.
changed a lot.
Yeah, I
Um,
noticed that. Yeah,
yeah, I had acne
yeah.
really badly, and I got on Accutane, and it completely changed my face in the best way possible. I had really bad acne.
How was you like in college? Like, was you a good student or?
Yeah, I graduated at A&M with my philosophy degree with a good GPA,
Okay.
and I really enjoyed college.
Mhm. Did you play soccer like in college or?
They had a recreational team that you could go play on, and I did that.
Okay.
Just silly, just dancing around and
Let me stop looking
doing
at
all the
the. Let me
stuff.
stop looking at the pictures. Yeah, I mean, I like your pictures. I'm not gonna lie.
Thanks. So that's good.
I
I'm
like
glad that
your
my
pictures.
Instagram catches your eye for sure.
Yeah, it did. It did. I mean, because I look at, I look at other athletes. Like some people, I don't look at too many of the competitors that much like that. I just because it's a lot of people that that's into bodybuilding. They're not competing, or they do compete. So yeah, if somebody captures my eye, I'm just focusing like, wow. This girl, her name is Sarah Courtney. She's a power lifter. She's close to your age. Yeah, she has like potential of being a bodybuilder. She's a power lifter. Yeah,
Yeah, I know some people that have transitioned from powerlifting to bodybuilding, and it seems to be a
yeah,
pretty smooth transition for a lot of people.
yeah. TV, old school, bro. We gotta focus on social media and Jessica reverse the conventional age. So, I don't wanna take you hostage, but like for this year, you're going you're what division what show you're gonna be competing again? I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're good. I didn't even state a show I was competing in. I
Uh,
really don't have solid dates of anything. I mean, I will say that I prefer to not travel, like again saving money. I like, Texas is really big for bodybuilding. So
yeah,
the Texas Pro is August 8th and 9th. So maybe that show. It's also Sarah Villegas gives out 15,000 at the Texas Pro for women's physique just to promote the division, which is really cool. It's in Texas and it's one of the best pro shows there is. So that's an option. There's a few other ones like, always the Chattanooga, North Americans, but or no, not North Americans. I think yeah, no, there's a pro show. But I don't know yet. I'm just really enjoying what I'm doing now, but I do
yeah,
want to compete this year.
yeah. Are you familiar with Brittany Parish or Hannah Hussein? Cause they're from where you at. They're from
Say their
Texas.
names?
Hannah Hussein, Brittany Parish. They're from Texas. They in Texas. They're bodybuilders in Texas. So I don't know. Maybe you're in a different city or something like that. So I don't know.
I'm in Houston, so I would
Houston.
have
Oh,
to
okay. Okay.
I'd have to
Maybe.
look, but
Yeah.
I'm good with faces more than
Yeah.
names.
Yeah. There's bodybuilders that's in where you at. I think that they have a lot of shows in Texas, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah. So
Absolutely, especially at the amateur level.
yeah.
But Texas is bodybuilding hub. Texas, California, a couple states up north, like and Florida, really big hubs for bodybuilding.
Yeah. Somebody says Jessica versus the conventional age. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know
Well,
what does that mean.
I don't know. George said Ashley Jones and Mayla Ash are in Texas.
Texas is where it's at.
Yeah.
Texas is a really cool place. I don't really plan to move out of it, but it can get expensive. But here where I live, and because Houston's just so big, it's like Dallas.
Yeah.
Austin's a little bit smaller. They're expanding, but Dallas is huge. Houston is huge. When I moved
Mm.
here from Dallas, I thought I was moving to Houston, but I'm moving.
Right.
I'm like 45 minutes to an hour away from Houston. I'm in Spring Tomball area where the Labradas are. I don't know if you're familiar with Hunter Labrada or Lee Labrada, but
That sounds familiar.
they're
Sounds
bodybuilders.
okay.
The Lee Labrada is actually a NPC show that's held every year here. Um, And like it's kind of like Sid Gillen. She made her own show, and you can make your own show if you have the funds for it. So the Labradas live out here in Tomball, which is about 15-20 minutes from me.
You said you look. It's a compliment.
Thank you. Thank you. I am 26, and I hope every year I'm getting closer and closer to hoping that they ID me at a liquor store. You know what I'm saying?
I think you look great. For your age. Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah, you do. You do.
I
Well,
used to be like, I used to be like, I don't want them to ID me because, like, I want to finally look like I'm 21 and all this stuff. And then I went into a liquor store in 23 and they didn't ID me. And I was like, wait, are you gonna ID me? And they're like, ah, dude, you're good. And I was like, oh,
you look.
no, that's not
It's a part of
good.
you. It's a part of you that kind of look like you turned 20. Because when I seen you, like she got a baby face.
Well, that's good. That's good. I
Yeah,
try and keep my skin on point. And bodybuilding is a sport that will age you. That's for sure. A lot of sports like soccer, I feel like keeps you pretty young, just lively. Um, but bodybuilding, just because of how much you have to dehydrate yourself, how much
yeah.
you have to focus and on the diet and the supplementation, it just ages your body, stresses you out. Cortisol gets high. You're real lean. Like, just ages your body.
I didn't. I think you're like the first person, maybe the second that say that because not too many bodybuilders say that. There's some bodybuilders they don't really look like too old. They could be like 50 and they look a little bit younger. But I don't really hear bodybuilders say that too much.
It depends. It's like
Yeah,
it's a weird gray area because you can be 55, 50 in a
right.
master's class and look like you're damn near 30 years old, you know? And then you could also be 30 years old or getting close to that or whatever and just have dried out so much, done so much that you look like you're almost 45.
Yeah,
It's all genetics, supplementation, and how well you take care of yourself. But there is something to changing the way you look based on your lifestyle.
yeah,
And sometimes I think it's more prevalent in men than women because of the supplementation. Like I'll see a guy that's, and even now, it's kind of deceiving. There's this guy named Anton, and he was 19
mm,
and competed at the Texas Cup in 2023, then competed at the Summer Shredding. He's a freak. He's
mm,
like 19, looks like he's like 25 walking around just because of how built and conditioned he is. So I guess that's a good part of aging. But then there's a part where you see a guy who's like 28 to 30 and he looks like he's like almost 40 because his like face is so there's just something about trend definitely ages you, balding, losing hair ages you, creating wrinkles in your skin or getting your face too big from whatever drug that causes the water retention and causes you to hold weight on your face, like that growth hormone changes your side. Like there's so much to bodybuilding. Yeah, it's a compliment that I do look young. I'll take it.
yeah. Also, keep your skin hydrated.
That's a huge part of it.
When when
Dehydrates the fuck out of your skin.
when you like with your clients, like if when they're curious about bodybuilding, like what do you say to them? Like in terms of them entering that world, you know. Like do you tell them you keep it real with them? Like, you're gonna be dehydrated and depleted and stuff like that. How do they receive that? I don't know.
Yeah, I asked them why. Like I
Yeah,
usually prod a few questions to understand why they actually want to do it.
right.
And if their reasoning is reasonable, like it's not like I mean, I put Haley on stage and she just wanted to compete. She was like, I look this good, I feel this good, and I really want to bring my best package. Like, I want to prove people wrong. I want to prove myself right. I want to do this, and she's competitive and she looks good, hell yeah, dude, let's do it. I more so stress the post show more than I do the actual prep, because the post show is where it gets real difficult for people, and where the post show blues, as they call it, come around. If you just fall off completely and you have all this freedom and eat like shit, then you're gonna feel like shit. Whereas in prep, you may feel like shit, but you don't look like shit, and so you can take all these pictures, and you still feel good. Like, waking up, you're like, "Yup, I'm looking good." So
Yeah,
who cares? Even if I feel like shit, I know I look good. But post show, you may not look as good if you don't stay on diet. So I always stress we have to focus on discipline post show. You have to be, at least for a while, you need to be as on plan and as disciplined with your eating, and not just fully fuck off
mm,
after the show, so that you can maintain your mental state. Because I promise you, if you go off the rails and you start eating like shit and you stop doing your cardio and you gain all this fat back, especially when someone's coming from a place of weight loss, or especially if they're going into it because they've never committed, they want to look their best, and they go right back, you are going to feel like dog shit. Not only mentally, but you're going to feel that way physically. So we need to make sure that after the show, you stay hydrated, you slowly work your calories back up, so that you're not in a devastating place.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a complicated sport. Like it's a lot to take in. I mean, much respect to you. You know that you're doing your thing about it. You're doing your thing. It, it's not an easy sport. You know, I think the complicated thing that I've tried to do, I try to be a vegetarian at one point. This was like 20 years ago and stuff, and and it's almost similar to bodybuilding a little bit, because you gotta watch what you eat and all that stuff like that. Well, it depends, you know. I mean, there's people that's a little overweight and they're vegetarians, but I don't know how that happened, but I don't know. To
Well,
each
yeah,
his own.
there's also bodybuilders that go on stage and look like shit. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
you either, and this is something that we touch on, is knowledge is power. So
Mm,
the more effort the bodybuilder or the athlete puts into their prep and puts into themselves to learn about the sport and to
mm,
learn about what they're consuming, and not just mindlessly or blindly follow something, the more knowledge they accumulate over time, and the more they can use that with purpose, the more they can carry that out, uh and how do you say, like, linger this into other sectors of their life. It's not just bodybuilding, this is a whole discipline, this is an entire change in your life, in your lifestyle, in your daily movement, in how you proceed throughout your day. So after the show, you should be a better person. How do I say this? You should have character development from prep. If you got nothing out of prep except a good body and maybe a trophy, then in my eyes, that's not winning. If you come out and you feel like, I gained integrity, I gained discipline, I gained regimen and consistency, I gained a sense of self, a sense of purpose, then that is really where the win is. You're elevated in your mindset, and that's something you can't really get from just working out. You've got to have that incentive and drive to do that. And so that's where coaching is so beautiful, because you have someone you're working with as a team in a collaborative manner that allows for you to open your mindset and perspective. So trust does come into it. You need to find a coach that you can trust, someone that will guide you in the right direction, and someone to talk to. At the end of the day, we are prepping alone. We're not, on the soccer field passing back and forth with a person, our teammate, who we know is going to be on game day, that person that we can pass to. We have to build as a community and be able to talk to each other about certain things, which is kind of closed off. Like you said, people are pretty vulnerable. They don't want to put themselves out there, which I can understand. And so I think it's good to create a safe space for people to open up with each other about what they're going through mentally and physically and spiritually, emotionally while they're prepping, because it's imperative to your prep. If you're not mentally prepared for prep, it's going to drain the hell out of you. If you're not physically prepared and you're trying to do a competition in 7 weeks when you need 25 weeks, you're going to drain the hell out of yourself physically. If you don't have a good relationship with God, or if you don't have some sort of spiritual or if you don't have anything beyond this physical realm to grab onto, then you're going to struggle with demons. And if you don't have yourself emotionally in check or anybody to talk to, you're going to end up crying because this is so hard and you feel like nobody understands. So it's really important before you start a prep. And I do touch on this with clients. Do you have all these things in check and your finances? That's the first thing. Is I go over, okay, this is how much this is going to cost, this. Do you have this? So making sure that all those check boxes are checked, or at least they can be in the works and they're acknowledged before you go into prep, and you say, you know, I'm going to write out, what can I work on during this prep physically? What can I work on emotionally? And then you have someone you trust to talk to about these things. It makes prep so much more enlightening and so much more open and not so closed off where athletes feel they're just a damsel in distress.
Yeah. Well, I mean, thank you for sharing. I mean, you're very mature in your age. I mean, you're young. Like, I mean, well, 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 you're very mature in your age. I mean, I know you're not, that young, but you're not old neither. So that's what I'm trying to say. You probably old enough to be my daughter, if I could say that. So
Yeah.
yeah, you have wisdom for like the 7 years you bodybuilding. So, but
Yes.
yeah,
Bodybuilding has taught me so much, and without it, I think I'd probably be in jail. So,
okay, I hear that. I'm not mad at you. Yeah. Well, I mean, I wish you good luck on your journey and best wishes. You know,
thank you so much. Thank
like
you.
like to hear from you in the future.
For sure. Yeah. If you ever want to invite me back on or just chat and stuff,
Yeah,
I'm here for the banter. I love
yeah,
it.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank
Well,
you.
no doubt. Well, folks, yeah, I appreciate everybody that came on the chat, and all the way George Page, he says good night, and
Peace.
we're gonna wrap it up with a little outro. So, see y'all later.